In the last video, we spoke about one question. If Shiva is beyond time, does that make him greater than Vishnu? And the answer was no. Because beyond doesn't automatically mean greater. But that leaves us with even a bigger question. If Shiva and Vishnu are not competing, then what exactly are they pointing towards? Is that another god, another deity, an invisible energy, or something much deeper? Let's decode it. Welcome to Timira Samhari, the soul of Bharat. We spoke about Shiva, Vishnu, Devi, Ardhanarishwara. But let's forget them for a minute. Because this question isn't only about God, it's about existence itself. Have you ever wondered how did all this begin? Not just our earth, not just our sun, the entire universe, the galaxies. Scientists are still trying to understand it, and philosophers have debated it for centuries. And long before telescopes, particle accelerators, or modern laboratories, the rishis were asking one of the humanity's deepest questions. Not how the universe works, but what makes its very existence possible. Not which God is greater, but what is the ultimate reality behind everything that exists. Before our sages searched for God, they first searched for truth. The greatest discoveries begin not just with the courage to ask the right question, but with the humility to accept the answer even when it challenges everything we believed. And that's where our journey begins. Before the earth, before the sun, before galaxies, before space, and before time itself, what existed? Not who, what? And if nothing existed, then how did everything come into existence? And if something existed, what was it? This was the research made by our rishis, and their answer was extraordinary. They didn't say there was an old man sitting somewhere in the sky. They didn't even begin with a particular deity. Instead, they spoke about an eternal reality, something that never begins, never ends, never changes, but neither it's born nor it dies. Everything comes from it, everything exists because of it, everything finally returns to it. But it's not Brahma, the creator. It's something else, the infinite reality. And now another question naturally comes. If this one reality exists, then why do we have so many gods? The answer is surprisingly simple. Look around you for a second. The chair you're sitting on, the mobile phone in your hand, the wall in front of you, they all feel completely solid. But if we could zoom in billions of times, we'd discover the world completely different from what our eyes see. Science calls it atoms. Our senses say solid. But the reality is far more fascinating. Imagine the days when these atoms were not discovered. These electron microscopes were not there. So, did all these things not exist at that time? No, they are much more reality. They existed, but we could not comprehend to decipher their structural code. The same is with our body. It also looks solid, but it is also made of atoms too. The mountains, rivers, trees, air, star, everything is built from the same fundamental building blocks. And if everything is made from the same underlying reality, why do we see so many different things? Imagine white sunlight. When it passes through a prism, what happens? One light becomes many colors. Red, blue, green, yellow, orange. So, vibgyor is what we say. Now tell me, which color is sunlight? It's all of them, but none of them separately, and all together give another visual impression. Remove the prism, and every color merges back into one light. The prism didn't create the colors, it only revealed what was already present within that white light. Exactly the same way, the one reality appears to us through many divine forms. Not because the reality is divided, but because our minds understand the truth through symbols. The infinite reality cannot be seen directly. It cannot be fully grasped by our ordinary senses or described completely in words. So, our sages described it through different symbols. To explain preservation and cosmic order as Vishnu, and as Shiva to explain transcendence and transformation. To explain about the divine energy, they chose Devi as the symbol. And to explain creation, it was Brahma. Different doors, same destination. Interestingly, modern physics also points us towards the idea that reality is deeper than everyday appearances. Although objects appear different, modern science shows they are built from common underlying physical constituents. And thousands of years earlier, Upanishads were asking a different question, not about the particles, but about the ultimate nature of existence itself. And the Upanishads and the Rishis gave this reality a philosophical name, not the name of a person, not the name of a deity, a name for the infinite itself. And that name was Brahman. Think of it like this. Scientists call the same thing by scientific names, and common people with different names. In different parts, in different languages, we identify that differently. The mathematicians term mathematical terms, and Upanishads call this ultimate reality Brahman. And when the Upanishad says Sarvam Khalvidam Brahma, Sarvam means everything, Khalu idam, Khalu indeed, truly, idam, this, which means the entire universe, Brahman, Brahman, that is the absolute reality, and not Brahma, the creator deity. This reference is found in Chāndogya Upaniṣad 3.14.1. They are not saying everything is a god. They are saying everything emerges from the same ultimate reality. Just as every color comes from one white light, like ornaments are coming in different structures from the same gold, like waves are nothing but water. The names are different, the forms are different, but the reality is the same. So, many Vedantic traditions describe Vishnu and Shiva as expressions or manifestations of the same ultimate reality, though they explain that relationship in different ways. Neither is separate from that infinite reality. Both are complementing each other. They are the ways in which our minds relate to the infinite. That's why our sages never wanted us to stop at the symbols. They never intended the symbol to be the final destination. They intended it to point beyond itself. They started to understand, and they wanted us to understand what the symbol is pointing towards. And many people will immediately think, then is this chair a god? And this mobile phone may be god? No. The Upanishads are not saying that every object is a separate god. They are saying that beneath the countless names and forms of this universe lies one underlying reality. They don't describe Brahman merely as physical energy. They describe it as the ultimate reality from which everything arises. The Upanishads are answering a philosophical question, while the science is answering a physical question. Sometimes their insights can be compared, but they are not doing the same kind of inquiry. And now comes the biggest mystery. If Brahman is beyond all names, beyond all forms, then why did our sages worship these forms at all? And if the reality is one, why didn't the sages simply worship that one? Why temples? Why Krishna? Why Shiva? Why Devi? Why Ganesha? And why so many forms? Why so many mantras? Why so many rituals? If the ultimate is formless, why does Sanatana Dharma celebrate so many forms? Every answer in Sanatana Dharma opens the door to a deeper question. So, let's open this door in our next video. Till then, stay tuned to Timira Samhari, the soul of Bharat. Namaste.